Everyone, welcome back to the Brohood Productions Hall of Justice podcast. We have a very, very special treat for you today because this isn't just the Hall of Justice. This is the Watchtower episode. If you have watched Justice League Unlimited, or if you haven't, we highly recommend because that is what we are sporting today, the Watchtower. You're going to see a lot of different folks on here, some familiar faces, some new faces, and we just hope that you continue to enjoy and love the content. Of course, we have our beautiful sister, Queen Storm, the head of our East Coast division, with us today. I don't know where it's going to go in a circle, so I'm just going to point to each person to give who they are, what they're doing. And then we're going to get into the main course, the main meal, which is, of course, the Superman movie. So let's start off over here to my left. We welcome Super Dad.
Hey y'all, I'm Super Dad. Nice to meet everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks guys for including me on this. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this movie. I'm ready to just to let it all go, man. It's been building and building. So let's do this.
Thanks, Super Dad. We got over here to our right, Mr. EQ.
What's up, community? This is EQ, True Believer Comics, handle on everything Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where you're watching this right now. And yeah, I'm just super excited to talk about this movie. I've been holding this in for days. I did a spoiler-free review that people are liking, but I need to let this out with the fellow community. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, True Believer. We have over here, we have the Fly Kryptonian.
What's good, y'all? Fly Kryptonian, Kent Clark. Just happy to be here and talk about Superman with you all. I mean, I haven't talked about no spoilers on my channel either, so I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Let's go. We have over here a regular co-host, Kobe the Cheese Man.
Hello. Hi. Colby. Yeah, I big friend of Alma and JP. Work at their comic shop that they shop at, and now we're good friends. So I'm excited to talk my favorite guy, Superman, with all you guys. Y'all seem like great people. Didn't get to talk a whole lot with you guys at the start just because I didn't want to interrupt, but no, you all seem like amazing people. Excited to talk about some good old Superman. Alma, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. Oh, I
We
wanted it in
got
post.
Spencer's next.
Edit cut.
All right. Well, I mean, I feel kind of out of the loop. Like I've got all this stuff behind me, and Superman isn't one of them. So I'll be here and I'm talking about it with you guys, but I feel like I need to represent some more with Superman stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You're representing by being here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Right, that's right.
We got over here our amazing brother, Charlie.
What's up? That kind of big superhero person, but I know I'm on JP from way back in junior high, so we get ready to talk about Superman.
We got over here, Bick.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here. Glad to talk some Superman. I used to do some reviews back when I was in high school, and trying to see if I can get back into it. Ready to talk some soups with my boys here, and Brinny or Queen Storm.
Yeah.
Not sure if I missed anyone. I know that we got a an iPhone that popped up here.
Low
iPhone.
Low you.
or
Brainy-
low.
Ooh, Brainiac 5. Oh,
It's Mike.
No way.
Mike.
Mike.
Very cool. He's just hopping on. He's a bit busy, so we're happy that he's on here. So if anybody else pops in, we'll try to give him some recognition. But let's do this. All right, let's do some quick takes. Kobe, you go first.
Ooh, oh, don't put me on the spot. I'll give my quick takes. I wrote some notes down, so I'll give a brief overview and let everyone else talk. I've been waiting for this movie for so long. Me and Alma have talked. I've been on the show before, but like Superman's my guy. That's my favorite superhero. I love the hope and the kindness that he represents, and I think this movie was a perfect distillation of that. It's everything I was hoping for. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I also don't think any movie is a perfect movie. But it was just a lot of fun. I think all the actors and actresses did a great job, even the folks who maybe didn't get as much screen time, did great with what they had. I think it was just perfect. It had everything you needed. I loved it. I thought it was great.
EQ, you go for it. Thanks, Kobe. You're on mute too. I gotta unmute him.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So quick take. Me and a couple of the cinema friends have talked about this. In my belief, this is the only comic book superhero movie. Before, we had movies that had superheroes in them.
Mm.
You dig how the movie came after the word superhero, or it came before? This is the first movie where the comic, the character, and the fans were at the number one, at the forefront of the desire of the movie. Where, no disrespect to Christopher Nolan, no disrespect to Zack Snyder's, but those were filmmakers' movies that had superheroes that were in comics in them. Like, I left this movie as a comic fan completely satisfied. I think that hands down, other than Superman 1, Superman the movie with Christopher Reeves, because that was very comic book orientated. But that was because that started the entire superhero cinematic universe. So I say, again, like what the homie Kobe said, there is no perfect movie. But this was pretty much close to it. I mean, I give it, we're not giving ratings yet, but I give it a very high score. Great movie.
Very good. Super Dad, how about you go at it? Got on mute. Sorry, I'm gonna have to work on that.
Can
There's
everybody
just
hear me
some
now?
echoing going on, so we muted everyone just to let you guys know.
Are we good?
Yeah, but you're good.
Okay. So, as somebody that's been in the Superman fan club for I can't even count the years, man. I'm almost 50 if that tells you anything. Um, the embodiment of this movie, like I was telling them earlier, I was so hyped and I was so giddy when I decided to go see it last night with my wife, Milo was Lane. Um, and just the moment that the screen lit up when that first thing came on and to the very last frame, it just was. I was engulfed. I was taken away. I agree with a lot of the people that it was a comic book that came to life. Um, I pay homage to Christopher Reeve also because that was my introduction to Superman in the early '80s when I was old enough to actually see the movie. But this right here, I'm so happy because this is the Superman of this generation. My daughter, my son, they get to grow up with this version of Superman, and it embodies and it pays homage to the character at its very core, at its very, very core. And I was talking to my wife last night. I was like, is it possible to feel like a better person when you come out of a movie? Because I've not experienced that with anything else I've seen since I was a child. Feeling better about myself, feeling hopeful, feeling the joy that this movie gave me last night, dude. I've been on cloud nine since then. I couldn't sleep last night. I've been ready for this thing all day long. But yeah, this this is a great Superman movie for sure.
Love the excitement. Love the excitement, Super Dad. Charlie, how about you chime in here? Get off mute there.
Oh, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was a good movie, but I haven't read any of the comic books, so I honestly thought it was gonna be like a reboot from one of like the movies from the 80s. So when I walked in there, it looked like a brand new movie, so it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Let's go over to Queen Storm.
Well, it was wonderful. Like you said, or like Super Dad was saying, it was a good movie, made you feel good when you walked out of it. But I remember seeing the trailer and thinking it was going to be cheesy, and then I talked to the person at my comic book shop, and they were like, "It's supposed to be that way," and it ended up being really good. So yeah,
Perfect. It's perfect. Vic, how about you chime in?
Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. I was muted here for a second. I uh I had a really good time. I really enjoyed that. They're not superhero movies for a long time have felt the desire and need to kind of like hold our hands through everything. Like, this is what this character had to do to get to this point. This is what these side characters had to do, or this is how this device came to be. And I really just enjoyed that it said, look, James Gunn knows what he's doing. He knows that we most folks that are coming in, at least in the first couple of weeks, anything like that, we kind of know what we're getting ourselves into. So he just said, look, this is a universe. This is a world. We're already living in it. Things have already been happening. And I really, really appreciated that for a superhero movie for this time around, especially since it's our first official foray into this universe, besides Creature Commandos. But spoilers, if this is okay, that Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., that was probably my favorite cameo in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. Solid. What about you, Fly Kryptonian? What's your quick take?
Well, I've said it in some of my videos. After everything I had seen leading up to the movie, I was fully expecting like a love letter to Superman fans, and I didn't walk out of the theater disappointed. Also, James Gunn had the impossible. Well, you can't even say impossible because he did it, but the impossible task of delivering a classic Superman film. And with starting this DCU, you got to look at it from a perspective. He's also trying to get, you know, pretty much get a lot of MCU fans over to DCU to get locked in and get interested with these characters, especially Superman. It's like that's a huge task already. So I'm already seeing it on TikTok with reviews. There's a lot of reviews that start. I don't even mess with DCU like that, but this movie, it delivered, and I'm just happy. It's a beautiful time to be a Superman fan, and glad to be chopping it up with y'all about this. We're getting some more spoilers and all that. So
Almost there. Almost there.
yeah.
Phil, let's see what you chime in and share with us your quick take.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Sorry I was late. Um, I really liked it. I think that for me, I'm more of a Marvel guy. Getting back into comics again. I was back in the Gen X area. I'm probably the old timer here. Just turned 50 this year. So for me, like, I remember Superman going to it as a kid, Christopher Reeves. That was it for me. And I really haven't been in, I watched a few Batman movies here and there, but for me, this is like the one that stands out since way back when. You know what I mean? Like Super Dad was saying, uh, really hit me for my kids. You know what I mean? That, like, for me being a kid, that was my Superman, and I think that I agree that this is like the next generation Superman. Being a Marvel person, I think it was a great introduction. Um, we talked about it last night. I don't think it was perfect, but it was a really good movie. Had a real good feel to it, a real good vibe. I personally am not like, I always felt like Superman was a little bit too goody goody for me. But I really like that story and what he's about. I feel like they nailed the assignment here. The hope theme is strong with this movie, and that really is like what I associate with Superman. Whether you like him or not, I think that really connected. So I like this one.
Fantastic, Phil. Spencer, tune in with us.
Alrighty, so I've never understood what people meant when they said, "Well, this felt like a James Gunn movie," or "This felt like some film." Like I've never felt a director's film before until last night. I felt a James Gunn movie for the first time. Like, I walked into it, it wasn't a DC film, it was a James Gunn film. You know what I mean? I loved it, but Superman felt like Captain America with a cape and an S on his chest to me, which is fine because I got a Captain America poster. Like I love Captain America. But I don't know. I was happy with it. I came home. I told my wife all about the movie. Like I couldn't stop geeking out about it. It was just totally new. I think it was a fun change up for the DC universe. Like it's been so gritty and so dark and so I've got to save my mother. Like I don't know. Like it's a nice turn of like a nice new generation, new phase of things. I liked it. It was fun.
There you go. Mike, let us know in the chat if you can comment. If you can't, just tell us.
No, I'm good. I've got
All
like 2 minutes,
right.
guys. What's up? Sorry. For those that don't know me, I'm Mike. I'm in and out because I'm at work, working with patients. So I got like 2 minutes. We had a good talk last night. You know, JP, we talked about how this is going to be a mixed bag for so many people. Some people are going to like it. Some classic DC people are not going to love it. But the idea that this is a generational movie, like what Phil said, this is a start for something bigger for DC, kind of like Iron Man was for the Marvel universe. I think what you're seeing is people who know Superman because he's such a popular character, but they really don't know anything, are going to start loving the DC universe because of this film. I feel like this is that transition film to open up for all the other characters. We were teasing last night, all of us, is this a Superman movie or was this a Mr. Terrific movie? Because Mr. Terrific was really the one in this show that was dope, right? So
Yeah.
but I loved it. I love James Gunn. I love the fact that he can take a really serious scene like the Russian roulette scene and all of a sudden turn a film into a humor. That's a talent. It is a James Gunn film, and that's okay. So I don't know how many people have seen the show Friends, but there's this episode in Friends where um, Jennifer Aniston's character is making a dessert for Thanksgiving, and it's like this weird truffle dessert, and it's all awesome, and it's got like jam and cake and whipped cream and fruit, and she messes it up and mixes up another recipe, and the last thing she puts in there is like beef, and everybody's like, "What the hell?" You know. But Joey comes in, and everybody's like acting like they like it, and they're trying to be polite about it, and they're all leaving the room and throwing it away or throwing it out the balcony, and it kicks back to Joey and Joyce in there, and he's like, I like it. What's not to like? There's jam, cake, good, jam, good, whipped cream, good, beef, good, right? That's what this movie is. Some people are going to really like it, and some people are going to have a hard time with it. But when it's all said and done, it's that whole mix that's going to bring the universe together. In the chat, Phil posted the numbers. We talked about this last night. You'll be able to tell by opening weekend if this movie was really good or not. Whether you like how it was done, the numbers are going to speak to it. And it's a good movie. I think, Phil, you posted it was at like 22 million or something yesterday. So, I mean, it's on its way to blow it up. And I think me and Phil were talking about this on the drive home after the movie. The whole point of the comic book industry, because like Phil's older, I'm not that much younger than Phil. We were into comic books when comic books weren't cool. We were collecting this when people tried to make fun of it, you know? Um, that's the whole point of the comic book and why you guys, I think, are doing this post is it brings people together and it brings the community together. And that's what it's about, man. And so if anything from that movie last night, that's what I felt with this whole event going to Superman is I met a bunch of really cool people. We all got to geek out about comic books and Superman and have a good time. So that's the big picture for me. That's my thoughts on it. That's a successful movie. So there you go. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks, man, for showing up.
Yeah, I'm going to step out, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Perfect. All right, JP the Hulk, your turn.
Well, I think everybody's already really said the what this movie is, and I'm thinking about it more. I'm like, it was fun, it was exciting. There's really not much we can say bad about it. I mean, in a few weeks, people are gonna be like super critical, but like we can all agree, I think, is when we left that theater, we were super excited. It was fun. It made you feel good. You know, it makes you feel that Superman is. I feel like this was the best depiction of Superman. He can get angry. He has bad relationships. I think Spencer was telling me about that. You know, he related it to Captain America. So he felt really human, and it was like, it's okay, and that I love the scene where he's like yelling at Lex Luthor at the end. He's like, you know, we're gonna try, we're gonna mess up, but we're gonna keep going. And so I love that message that when you left the theater, it's like, let's go. So those are my quick takes.
Last thing I'm going to wrap up with is for the last 12 years, is it 12? I think it's 12. We have not had a solo Superman film, an individual film dedicated to Superman. And the conversation that I've heard for 12 years has been, well, if you made a Superman movie, what would you do? If you made a Superman movie, what would you do? And so the two things I'm going to say is one of the comments that I heard over the years was if a Superman movie doesn't have you smiling when you walk out of the theater, you did not do a good job. So to me, it made me smile coming out of the movie theater. And so I have had the privilege to watch it twice. And so the second comment I'm going to make is I probably would have made this movie almost exactly the same way. So let's get into it. We got to break some stuff open, okay? We're gonna try to just have everybody go off of mute. We'll see how we can work this out with the big Watchtower episode.
It's going to be more of a discussion, but if you hear an echo,
Let's just work it out or whatever we need to do. But we're gonna start off with, I mean, JP and I don't consider it controversy, but okay, we have to put it up against things. We just have to put our
let's
critical
let's
hits on.
rank it.
Oh
With-
no.
I think we put Superman Returns at the bottom.
So our question becomes, this is the hard one for me because of how much each Superman film has impacted me personally. Where does Superman 2025 compare versus Man of Steel?
Oh, that's I don't.
Everybody just go whenever they want, whatever
So,
they gotta say.
so this is where like the filmmaker side of me comes out, is that they're completely two different worlds.
They're so different. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And like I
Apples
love
and
Zack
oranges, yeah.
Snyder's view and his creativity, because Man of Steel I still think is one of the best superhero movies of all time, with the Hank Zimmer score, Henry Cavill as Superman. That's an epic movie that should not be taken down from that just because this movie is so well done. Like I said before in the beginning, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was a film with a superhero from the comics in it, where James Gunn is a comic fan. He's an enthusiast in this community, and you can feel that he literally had to sit down and be like, I'm going to make something for them. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And it's a ballsy move at the same time, because all comic fans still, even though like Super Dad and the other brother that was like, I'm in my 40s, or starting my 40s, and it wasn't cool to be a comic book geek when I was growing up, but people like James Gunn are making it cool. And if this movie catches on and it really is successful, then we're going to be inspiring a lot of the youth to like, yo, this is cool now. This type of Superman, this bro, he saved a squirrel. Like we all
Yeah.
he saved the squirrel. When he saved the squirrel, I was just like, bro, this is Superman though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is really him. He was concerned about the monster that they beat, and how like that's the Superman that I always wanted to see. So like, but also I wanted to see the Snyder Superman too. I wanted to see somebody who is scared of living in a paper bag that he always could rip, and he's that strong, and the emotional distress that might do to a person. So yeah, it's hard. Right now we're on this high. So this Superman, I'm gonna top three. I'm just gonna give it my top three. That's it. I can't give it a number.
I think I for sure have to agree with top three. Then the same you were saying, Man of Steel is one of my personal favorite superhero movies of all time for sure. And it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's like comparing. It's like like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man versus Miles Morales Spider-Verse. You know, you're still telling a comic book story. There's things that are going on, but it's different levels to it. And I would, yeah, top three for sure. I love the vibes it gave out. And you're like you brought up saving the squirrels, saving the kids, saving some there's a personal experience where you know like yeah, this basically God is dealing with these things that are almost outside of human comprehension. For us, for them, they've been living in that kind of world for 300 years. But he's still focused on the little guy, and I loved seeing that put into the world, into the movie like this for sure.
I
I
think
love
for
that. I love
me,
that comparison of that Snyder's more of a filmmaker and that James Gunn is telling it differently. It's a super hard comparison, but I feel like James Gunn has got the raw storytelling down, has that raw feel where the Man of Steel. It's been a while since I've watched it, but it's more polished and made for like a film class. You know what I mean? To me, that's how it comes across.
I was gonna say that
It really is comparing apples and oranges. I mean, you got two completely different depictions of Superman. Um, just like EQ said, I mean, I did enjoy seeing that version of Superman. That there are versions of Superman in the comics, just like Man of Steel. So it was just a different take. And um, I mean, as far as the Superman movie, absolutely, I would put it above Man of Steel, just because I think it's if you're introducing someone to Superman, that's the movie you want to show them. It's the essence of Superman. Um, I mean, yeah, it's it's my 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman movie. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Go for it, Spencer. I know you wanted to say something, Spencer.
I've been itching at it. I think Man of Steel made me want to be a better person in the gym. You know what I mean? Like you see Man of Steel and you're like, dang, bro, like I need to work out I need to do better. And I think this Superman, this newest one, made me want to be a better person, like socially, in my relationships, emotionally, like maybe want to do better in my community, like you can tell he's still a strong guy physically, obviously, but I think like I haven't seen a movie that's like the moral of the story is be a better person. I haven't seen that in years, and it was so refreshing to see that in this Superman. And I would put that higher. Like that's number one Superman for me right now is this newest one because of that.
also, if I could piggyback just what you said, like how it made you want to be a better person in the gym. I was literally telling my mom about this because she loves Superman too. But and I love Henry Cavill's take on Superman. Like he looks like Superman, all that. But the Clark Kent aspect, I mean, he pulls up to the Daily Planet. He just looks like the most handsome guy on earth. Still, you know what I mean? So for
And the
me,
baldness.
seeing that quirky Clark Kent, that I just love that. Henry Cavill just looks like yeah, most handsome man alive, Clark Kent. You know, so it's just
Yeah,
two different. It's
and
apples and oranges for real. So
and Henry Cavill looks like a middle linebacker for a professional football team
right,
that is then clocking into the Daily Planet, and he's like,
right,
oh. And Jimmy Olsen looks like he's like, yo, bro, you're 6'3", 235 pounds, bro. You're not a reporter. Like, where'd you go?
right, exactly.
I agree with Ken Clark. Queen Storm.
Well, I've been on mute. I've been laughing. I haven't been wanting to ruin the audio. Well, I agree with everything everyone was saying on this. So, I mean, I still do like Man of Steel, but I really did enjoy this one as far as the comic aspect of it. They're tied to me. Yeah. I don't know. No.
I got to give everybody a turn first. You know, I got.
I don't know who's left.
Open discussion,
I'm-
guys. Unmute
I
your
think
mics. Talk about it.
I don't have a lot to say, honestly. I haven't seen Man of Steel in so long, so that's why I've kept quiet. I'm like, I feel like I need to watch it again to give like an accurate read on how I feel, but I totally agree with everything everyone else is saying. I mean, we're gonna make comparisons because it's just natural. That's, but they are such different versions going for such different vibes. I think Man of Steel for what it was going for was really good. Like I said, I haven't watched it in years. I remember liking it. I'd have to watch it again, but I mean, like everyone was saying, I feel like almost, it is more of an internal look at. I don't know. I was gonna say they're both kind of like character studies of Superman, but almost in a different way. Like you were saying, was it EQ?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Oh man.
Like you were saying, it's like the I don't know. It's almost Man of Steel is kind of like how Superman affects the world and whether or not he thinks he should affect the world, whereas this one is very much how he affects the world. And I think that's they both have a place. I'm sure, this Superman has had the same conversation with himself, like I could crush someone without even thinking about it. I have to walk on eggshells. But I feel like Man of Steel, we saw that internal conflict, but this one, it's almost like he's moved past that point and he's like, okay, now I just got to do as much good as I can. And then, you know, slight spoilers, we get into like, he almost has the question of, do I really belong here? And is my whole mission, is that even true or is that a lie? And then obviously we go throughout the movie and he realizes like Pa tells him, which I was tearing up during that scene. Anytime him and his parents are talking, I just cry my eyes out. But like, it's his choices, regardless of where he comes from. But same with all of us. That's what being human is despite our past, we can still make a good future for ourselves and for each other. And I think, again, apples and oranges. I think that both movies have a place. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Man of Steel. I don't know. I feel like it gets downplayed a lot. I think it is good, but I think I do prefer this one. But I'd have to watch Man of Steel again. But this one I think definitely was like everyone else has said, top three for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's two completely different tones and universes.
Yeah.
Man of Steel, if Superman wasn't our world,
Yeah.
Superman is we're in the DCU, like
For
like
sure.
from
that,
the
yeah.
start. And it really did feel like it sounds cliche at this point, but it really did feel like a comic book. Like the pace of everything was like it was like you were just turning into each flash just comic panel.
Mhm.
I
It
said
was
the same
great.
thing.
Like each of the stills, I see people like posting stills and just the color and the shots, it's just
Yeah.
amazing. It really did feel like a live action comic.
Yeah, we're watching live comic panels
Yeah.
happening, and the pacing of the movie doesn't downplay the audience's intelligence. Just like when you're reading a comic book, you read those 2 pages, then you flip the page, and a new world or new character can be introduced, and you don't question it. You're
Right.
just like, oh, so we're here right now.
Right.
This is what's happening right now. And
Yeah,
that felt really refreshing. I don't know if we're doing deep dives yet, right? But what I really love about this movie is if you think about it, right? Like, I love Man of Steel, but this is one of the things I think this movie goes well beyond Man of Steel. It's like every time we get a Superman movie, it's Superman. It is him traveling, like James Gunn said. We had enough of seeing him come here as a baby. Like
Right.
we don't need to show that. And I really agree with that. But every first Superman movie of any era or any director is always he's coming here from a baby. He's growing up on a farm. Bro,
Right.
this movie starts right in the middle.
Right.
You know how much like you know how much how much I'm sorry if we can say this, how much balls you have to have as James Gunn to be like, no, we're gonna do our first Superman movie, the first one of the DCU, and we're gonna put Green Lantern, we're gonna put Hawk Girl, and we're gonna put Mr. Terrific in it at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree. When I was watching the movie, I was sort of like pulled back, like how is the audience, how is the general population gonna take this? I thought it was a bad thing, but it's really a good thing. Like Victor was saying, like we don't need to be holding hands with the director like this happened. No, let's jump in. And that's how I felt. It's you jump in And Superman has already been doing this. Hawk Girl is in there. Mr. Terrific. All these funny guys. Um, and yeah, that was actually a really, really good thing. The more I thought about it last time, I'm like, actually, this is really good. And like you said, James Gunn had balls to do that because no, I don't. Marvel's always going to do that. I don't know, but now with him running things, you know what? It's just going to be like this is how it is. So we like,
Bro, so we all seen the movie now. So imagine this, and we've seen it in this movie. James Gunn is in one movie, opened up every possible world that the DCU can live in, interdimensional places, space, the Green Lantern Corps, metahumans. Like, they didn't go as deep as I wanted them to with Hawk Girl, but they've introduced the most you could possibly introduce to set up the next 10 movies in one movie and make you love Superman more. Dog, kick the field goal. It's a win.
Absolutely. Like, James Gunn absolutely took risks and throwing us into the action. I think instead of getting the typical origin story that we already know, or most audiences know, he took the chance of providing that comic book feel and that pace to attract the general audience. And I'm already seeing people on TikTok more interested in learning more about Superman because of this. Yep. Like, it's gonna spark more interest for people that, yeah, they might like Superman or know about Superman, but now they really want to dive into his stories. I mean, James Gunn just balled out. The gun didn't jam, like you said. The gun didn't jam.
We are in the Gunnerverse, bro.
Yes, I mean, this man is not playing no games. Like you said, he basically set up 10, but the next 10 movies with, I mean, Mr. Terrific needs his own thing. You know, like,
Please.
he definitely needs it. He definitely needs his own movie. I was talking to a couple homies though. They might need to do a series because look, no disrespect, but as the only brother on here, a lot Marvel and DC doesn't tend to do a lot of black led movies, and critics tend to tear them up when they do. So I think that they should dive deep in a series, maybe like they did on Ironheart, like a 6-episode series of Mr. Terrific. You know, his first appearance was in Spectre number 54 in 1997, and like maybe tying that into it. I think, Mr. Terrific to me was one of the stars.
Yes, still a movie.
We're watching a Superman movie, but Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific are like perfect.
If they didn't have crypto, he would have stole the movie. Like that, have crypto just to take the heat off Mr. Terrific.
Crypto definitely stole the
I love the comic book aspect. I love how you guys are talking about the comic books because, like I said, I'm not more of the film. I don't come from the film side. I come from the comic side, and that's when I came out of the movie. I said going through the pocket universe where they go through the tunnel. That's so comic book. You on the other page, you're in the other, and how they transition through in the middle gap. That's your middle panel. You know what I mean? There's your name panel grid.
And you see how quickly they didn't explain it. Like they quickly explained the pocket dimension, but they didn't tiptoe you or hold your hand.
Yes.
About it. That's comic books.
Yes, and it's the comic books where they don't talk down to you. They expect you to be, and they didn't talk down to any of the audience. If you were a fan, you got it right. And I love that. The thing to me is that this wasn't a first issue. This is a second issue where they just jump off. Everybody knows this. We're going to start off with that first panel where it comes up the history. That totally felt like the title page. I think Alma showed us after we pulled out the comic. Open up the comic. Go to page 1. I mean, there it was. I love that aspect. And really, for me, not being a DC fan coming in as a comic book fan, I feel like they're like what was said, how they're bringing in the Marvel universe. They got me. You know what I mean? They sold me on, like I said, all these other heroes. I want to get to know Mr. Terrific more. I'm reading the storyline now, and I'm so hyped on that the next issue. So it's great.
Yeah, I mean, even the scene when Lex pulled up to the fortress and Ultraman and Engineer are just doing work. Like when Lex pulled up, it was almost like you could see the word bubble from a comic. Like when he was just talking about he's not a man, he's an it. And I was just like, this is like just so comic book. Also, the scene with Metamorpho, I mean, the way he was moving and when they were
Amazing.
avoiding getting into the black hole, like that shot of the back of Superman, his cape. Oh my, probably my favorite shot of the movie where he's holding on to Baby Joey, and you got Crypto, and you got Metamorpho. It was just like.
And talking about Lex Luthor, how dope was it when he was in the Fortress of Solitude, Ultraman, and the Engineer was breaking all the robots, and he didn't flinch.
Yeah.
He walked straight forward as objects were flying past him. I was like, that's how I need to see my Lex Luthor.
Yes. Absolute dog. Absolute dog.
He will not show fear because he will not look like a lesser of a man than Superman.
Absolutely. Like the perfect Lex. Like just the number one hater waking up. How do I ruin Superman's day today? Like,
yeah, he's a professional hater.
Exactly what he brought.
Yeah. Hey, let's kind of go into that. Kent Clark, you kind of shared your favorite scene or your favorite part of the movie. Why don't everybody go ahead if you can remember your favorite part or favorite scene or something?
Well, I did love that scene as I just like just that shot, just the colors on there. Also, I was just a sucker for when he just went ham and was killing all the raptors with the heat vision, just knocking them, steamrolling them. Like I love that part. So that was just straight aura. So
that was a homage to The Last Starfighter. Super obscure movie, probably most.
I think my favorite scene would be from Mr. Terrific's anything that was in the dimensional gap, because I truly wasn't expecting that, and from Mr. Terrific and Lois going to the camp and exploring this gap and breaking it down, the technology to what was happening inside of it, and it kind of just lets you know how evil Lex Luthor was to be putting people in that prison of it, and just how genius Lex was to even use it.
Right.
I mean, I think that interdimensional gap was a very pivotal part. And like I said before, just the fact that they put that in there, they could have just had Ultraman, they could have just had the Engineer, they could have just had the Raptors, but to put that in there is so James Gunn, and it opens it up to a very cosmic, interdimensional DCU that we could be seeing for the next 10 plus movies. So
yeah, this man Lex literally recreated
that Rainbow River, like the
yeah,
bro, that was insane.
So
the
cool.
black hole, oh man.
I think the biggest scene in the movie came from that inner pocket dimension. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's like the heaviest scene that made the movie real and gave weight to Lex Luthor is when he does the Russian roulette.
Yeah,
that was like so. I didn't think he would actually kill him.
I
Like,
was talking to
that
somebody
was
on TikTok
mind-blowing.
about it, right?
That was crazy.
I was talking to somebody on TikTok about it, and they didn't like that scene, right? But we had a conversation about it. Without that scene, there would have been no risk.
No, that makes Lex it. Like that makes him the evil dude. That foreshadowing of planting that food vendor earlier in the movie, like that's the payoff right there. You know what I mean? That that was awesome.
It showed the lengths Lex is willing to go, like how evil he's really willing to be.
And well, and it gives it
also,
meat.
Yeah, I mean,
like there's results. Like, yeah, this is what happens when, I hate the movies where nothing happens, right?
Right.
That gives it impact.
And that would have been the case because we've seen like this movie is about hope, and like he saved the squirrel again. And saved almost everyone in the whole movie. Like no one actually, other than that food vendor, no one actually really dies. You don't see them dying. So that's what sets it apart from the Snyderverse. But without that Russian roulette scene, then it would have just took the the climax, the character arc, the
When
story
we're
arc,
like in the kitchen.
it would have just left it down. You know
Well,
what I'm
it's the metamorpho redemption.
saying?
Like
Yeah,
everything is pivotal. Like the whole movie changes as soon as that happens. That's key.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it definitely shifted gears at that moment. I actually had to step out like and go to the bathroom right at that scene, and I come back and my wife was like, they just killed the vendor guy that was helping Superman, and I was like, what? So I didn't get to see that part. No, which is fine. I'm going back Tuesday to see it in 3D, so it's okay, man. Like it's all right. I'm not upset. But I mean, I think that's where like the tone of the movie really shifted. Like it of course after they got him out of there, after Superman and them got out of there, he goes to the Kent farm, and I'm glad that they because you knew when he was like getting him somewhere safe, you knew exactly where he was going because nobody knew anything about it. But I didn't get to really chime in a while ago because like I didn't want to interrupt anybody. But as far as my rankings of this Superman film, and this comes from y'all gotta understand. I like I was saying a while ago, I'm turning 50 this year too. So like I've been exposed to a whole different line of different versions, different adaptations of Superman, and I feel like that every generation Superman had to change in order to appeal to the generation that it was in. You know, it had to adapt, it had to evolve, and that's why I like Superman so much. One of the reasons I like Superman is because over the years he has evolved, and I think that it'll keep evolving. You know, and like I was saying before, this is the Superman of this generation, and this is the Superman that my son gets to grow up with, and I'm happy about that. But like Christopher Reeves is always going to have a special place in my heart because that was the very first one that I ever experienced and ever saw. So Christopher Reeves, the original Superman movie, is number one. I believe James Gunn's is number two, and I have to put Man of Steel at three because like although I did like Man of Steel, I didn't like the dark, gritty parts. Um, when he saved the kids on the bus, and then he's having this conversation with Jonathan Kent, he was like, "Maybe you should have let them die." He was more worried about like protecting his secret instead of letting Clark be or become who he was meant to become. I kind of have mixed feelings about it, and I know a lot of people have different views. And like just some of the tone in the movie of Man of Steel, like even the end scene where he snaps Zod's neck, like that's the first time on the big screen that Superman has killed somebody. And I mean, not that he had a choice because of what was going on. I understood that. But like it was just different and dark and gritty to me. And I always felt like that Superman was supposed to be bright and hopeful and fun, and that's what we got out of this James Gunn movie. And the way that he just kept shifting from one thing to another, just like layer and layer of stuff that was going on, but then it all tied back in. It all came to the point to where the last battle and the thing between him and Lex just was awesome to me. So yeah, that's my rankings. Christopher Reeves number one, this one's number two, and Man of Steel number three.
The Christopher Reeves one, just to continue what you said, Super Dad. Like, I'll be 41 this year, but I had that VHS.
Right.
I wore it down to the bone. And like I said, it was all that we had, and like it was that, and then it was Michael Keaton's Batman, and that's the whole cinematic universe, superheroes that we had. So I agree with you, and the same light-hearted feeling that we got from this new Superman. I felt like the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. I felt like I felt that. I felt the humor, the way he the way he portrayed Clark Kent was just so very wholesome. Like, man, he had me wish from Philly. He had me wish I grew up in Kansas on a farm. And I was like, that seems nice. Martha and John seem like really good parents. Like,
Yeah.
I like this guy. You know what I'm saying?
And this will show you what kind of a good actor Christopher Reeve was, because I don't know if anybody else has watched it, but the Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and it goes in and it shows that early on interviews of him talking about playing this character and what he wanted to represent. And his whole thing is that Superman was a friend. But what I liked about it the most is it was very distinctive between him being Clark Kent and then him being Superman. And he even, like, he slouched, he made himself bumbly, he made himself, like, he did all these things. And then the moment, like the one scene with Lois, he flies off and comes back around to the door and he's Clark Kent again, and he's in there. And then he stands up tall, he takes the glasses off, and he's like, Lois, his voice changes.
Hmm.
And then he realizes, okay, I can't do this. And he's like, he puts it back on and he slouches back down to stay invisible. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I really like that about that movie, and the fact that even in this one, like, there was some distinctive traits, between him being Clark and then him being Superman.
Oh
The
yeah.
only thing that I really wish that we could have seen, and this is just me being a longtime fan, was some kind of like transformation, like a phone booth scene, or running down the alley, or like going somewhere and, like, I don't know, like changing from Clark Kent to Superman, some big change of showing him become Superman or whatever. So, like, that's the only thing that I really would have liked to see, other than everything else that was in there. But,
But
like, it just was really great, man. Just
as
really
as a,
great.
as a filmmaker, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure James Gunn thought of that, probably filmed it, and it had to get cut on the editing floor. Because now that you say that, I don't remember a single time in this
No, there's not.
where Clark Kent. But this being such a comic book fan movie, I'm so sure. I'll be surprised if I'm wrong. We might never not ever find the answer, but
The
I'm
director's
sure
cut.
James Gunn was like, we need a booth change, and
Yeah.
somehow it just didn't fit into anywhere.
They
And
they need a bonus scene for the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Director's cut.
it's like
We need
just like
that.
Snyder cut, we need a Gunner cut.
Yeah, I think
I feel like
that was
there's
the biggest
definitely
thing.
some footage that probably got trimmed down just to make it like a compact 2 hours, like
Yeah,
flat.
for
But
sure.
going back to Christopher Reeve, that is the golden standard of what a live action comic book film should be. And what I love, and because I've heard it my whole life as a Superman fan, that people say he's not interesting enough. He's just this almighty. He has all these powers. But David Cornsweet, much like Christopher Reeve, I really loved how he showed off his range of emotions. Superman going through, literally saying out loud, he gets scared. He questions himself. Not just because he's just Superman, like he's got it made. And the man works a 9 to 5 just to be down to earth. And my girl's favorite scene was the argument with him and Lois, or the debate with him and Lois, the interview. And just when he said, people were gonna die, like
That
David
part
Cornsweet
was
laid it all
impactful.
out there with his chest. And like I said, the range of emotions we see throughout the movie, I just love.
I think that that's Superman's biggest character trait that attracts me to the character. Like I said, I'm a huge Batman fan, but once they started to dive deep on the fact that this all-powerful being, this person who's probably one of the strongest in the universe, has to live a regular life and has to battle between what he can do, who he can save, how hard he can hit someone. Because if Superman truly, I don't know if you guys remember, in Justice League the cartoon, when he fought Darkseid,
Oh
I
yeah.
remember. We
Hey,
all remember.
he,
Now is
he,
when I get to cut loose. Oh
he
yeah, I
said,
grew up
he
on
said,
that, bro.
he said, but I've been living in a world where I could break anything, but now I'm able to let loose, and you can take it, big boy. And that scene, and other things, and that's where I think the Snyderverse kind of got a little bit of things right, because it's like an internal drama of a character that you're so strong that you could destroy, kill, take over everything, but you have this homegrown Kansas City great parents upbringing where it's a dilemma for you, and I feel like that's the strongest trait that can attract a lot of people to Superman and Clark Kent in general.
Yeah, that's the sentimental thing that gets me every time. Being the fan that I've been since I was 5, I just turn into a kid anytime he gets on screen. Anytime. So whether you're talking about the cartoon, the original animated series, anything, it puts me back into that seat where that's all I'm seeing. So when we're talking about favorite scenes, when the building is about to fall down and he catches it and the lady drives away and she's crying and she looks back and he's flying out of the clouds, that's my favorite scene because it speaks to everything that we're talking about.
Right.
I don't think I saw Amma cry. Very surprising. He said he was gonna cry in this movie.
I did cry.
I didn't see him.
You weren't watching him. You weren't watching him.
I
But
thought that they did James Gunn did an amazing job, or they did a good job of telling making Clark Kent a character. Where I think the Man of Steel, when I look back at it, everybody talked about being buff. I always thought that was weird when he was Clark Kent, that he was so buff, man. That I was never set right for me. It was like wasn't a convincing disguise, but I really felt like that the actor did a good job portraying Clark Kent in this movie, and that was really, I think that sticks with me as we're talking about it.
So two things.
I've got to go in a second, so I just wanted to jump in real quick.
All
if
right,
that's
yeah,
all right.
you go ahead, Spencer.
Just a couple of my thoughts on the movie. Favorite scene, first off, easy. It's the final after credit scene when Supergirl comes in and she's like, "Thanks for taking care of my dog. You suck. I hate you." And she just leaves. It was so funny. Like she
Yes.
gets in and Crypto's just like thrashing her around, cracking into the ground and breaking the walls and stuff. Like it was hilarious. It was just like the perfect, like no setup for a future story. No, it was just fun, and I think that was what the movie was about, was just having good fun. Um, you guys were talking about Lex Luthor a lot a while ago, and I think Lex did a really good job being the big baddie. But what I didn't understand was, why were his followers so devout to him? Like there was a one line in the movie that was like, they're cultish followers, or they believe that he can make a new world. And like one sentence they said they follow him because they believe in him, basically. But like you get a room of 20 dudes and girls like beating up Superman, choking him to death, like trying to drown this guy, and they're like, "Woohoo, we did it!" Woo. Like I don't Lex was evil, right? We see that. He shoots a guy Russian roulette, and he's like, "Well, I guess we got to find someone else." Evil, right? But like everyone else in the room was like playing a video game on a keyboard, and like, why? Why
So
were they so evil with him?
so this what I would think, right? Because the movie started off with that metahumans have been in this world for 300 years. Just like any other minority in the world in real life history, there are a certain group of people who feel entitled and attached to hating and discriminating and oppressing a certain type of people. So, just my guess is that Lex hired the right 30 people that, because I'm pretty sure he vented them out. He's Lex Luthor. So he found people who probably had meta-human situations in their life that would make them work so diligently towards destroying Superman. But if we remember, there was that one dude, as soon as that interdimensional crack was happening, he was like, "Yo, Lex, we gotta shut it down, bro. Like you're tripping now.
It's gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, right. This is not about Superman or the Justice Gang. You're about to destroy Metropolis. Like you're tripping. You know what I mean?" So I do feel what you're saying though, because I had that initial thought when I was watching it, and I had to go home and internalize, like, yo, these people are really hyped to destroy Superman. What did he do to you?
Well, and they kind of hinted at it with the engineer, right? How she gave up her humanity to kill the other metahumans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of behind the curtain metahuman hate that's happening. Just again, why I think James Gunn opened up the entire universe, because I'm pretty sure in one of these movies that's coming up in the next 10 years that we're gonna dive deep into that. And like Fizzo is Fizzo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like Fizzo said, like I'm a huge Marvel fan, and in the X-Men universe, there's a lot of mutant hate that is coming from regular people. So I think James Gunn is kind of setting up that same very situation with metahumans, just like in Young Justice. For all my DC cartoon heads, I don't know if anybody's seen Young Justice, but it's going in that direction, buddy.
When it comes to the whole Lex Luthor stuff, I definitely agree with you guys as well. I just different little perspective. I personally kind of felt that was a little more, not a little more, but I definitely saw like connections to what The Boys has been doing for the last couple of years, where it's especially when you have like the monkeys pulling up all that online hate. It's like just like that. I think it was the third season, and it's like, yeah, it's a world, and people know that superheroes are doing their things, and Lex Luthor knows, yeah, we're gonna find some people who gutturally hate metahumans, who gutturally want to see like humanity come up, and definitely not as extreme with the whole with everything that The Boys was doing, but I really like that. It's like, yeah, this has been established. This is it's been something that people have been getting opinions. There's probably like if you were to do like a boots on the ground, these are humans in this world. You're like, what is somebody who doesn't even live in Metropolis is just looking at all this in the news or reading about this online? Like, what are these people thinking? How many of those people would want to be like, yeah, I saw this. Lex Luthor is looking for people who want to help bring this guy down, or people who want to see humanity kind of like come up in that sense. As it's got to be more than just Lex. So I'm interested in seeing how the world will kind of evolve around that, and if there's going to be maybe like teams set up in the future they're just humans, maybe with some really dope Lex tech,
Well,
some Luthor Corp technology.
That's why Task Force X was created, and Lex sometimes works with Amanda Waller in the comics
That's
and
right.
cartoons, because they're the fighting force for humanity, where like if Superman and the Justice League turn evil, who can do anything about it? So that's like Lex's and Amanda Waller's and Task Force X. I like how they did the government really realizing certain things. I mean, they're projecting and foreshadowing a lot with that.
Oh, for sure.
I agree.
There's a lot of story building in this, and I love that. And we talked about that. We talked about how there's no perfect film, the filmmaker lens, the comic book lens. So I'm not necessarily saying if you have any cons, but was there things you would have done differently or things you actually didn't like from this movie? All love, right? I'm just curious about what's on our minds when it comes to that.
So this is the only thing. I'm sorry to start it off. This is the only thing. I would have loved, first off, number one, I would have loved for Hawk Girl to get a little bit more love. Like, she was in it, but like, I don't know about anybody else. Does anyone else know her name? Like that's
us? Like in the movie, or like
in the movie,
in the movie.
People here, other than her being Hawk Girl, was her name mentioned at all?
No, not that I
I
saw.
don't think it was.
Was she the original Hawk Girl from 1940, or was she Shiera that was more in the 1960s? Was she a Thanagarian from, the 80s all the way to modern? I would have liked to know a little bit more about her. I don't think she got as or any shine, for real, for real. And I wish they would have you know that he's a Green Lantern, Guy Gardner. He mentions one time that he's there to protect the galaxy, but even a sentence or two of dialogue in the script could have been like, I'm a part of the Green Lantern Corps. This is my whole sector, and I'm in charge of protecting this whole sector, and I have someone to answer to. Little things like that could have given a little bit more character to Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific. I think I love them all in this movie, but I think just a sentence or two of dialogue, just 1 to 2 minutes each of them, I just needed a little bit more backstory. But other than that, that's it. Oh, and I wish that Lex at that last scene, because he bust a tear. Do we all remember? He bust a tear. I wish Lex Luthor didn't bust a tear.
Yep.
My Lex Luthor doesn't bust a tear.
Too hard. It's like Doom crying.
Yeah.
You feel it? Right. That's like Doom crying. Exactly.
Doom don't cry.
Doom don't cry. Lex Luthor don't cry.
I
So
hear you.
it might have been a creative decision. It might have been an actor. Like I said, I'm a filmmaker. It might have been an actor's decision, and then they shot it, and it looked so good, it felt so good that they decided not to cut it. But I would have been like, you can give him the hardest stare in the world, the angriest stare in the world, but bust a tear.
Mhm.
It's been someone else's fault.
Something.
I agree. I agree on the hot girl thing. I felt like the hot girl was an afterthought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, hey guys, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm sorry that I can't stay. Actually, like I'm super dad. I got to go be a dad. I have kids and stuff. And but I really appreciate y'all making me a part of this. Like it just means a lot to me. Like it's been exciting. It's been fun to listen to everybody's different takes and stuff on these movies and this movie. But I think we all can agree wholeheartedly is that I think the DCU is back in full force, baby. Like I really feel like that James Gunn is just going to take us to all new heights in this universe and everything. And yeah, that's my take. Like
Agreed.
for sure. I'm sorry I wasn't more like vocal. This is the first time I've ever done anything like
No,
this.
you were in here, Super
Oh,
Dad.
good.
You were in
And
here.
so like I just wanted to listen and take it all in and soak it in because like I like hearing stuff like this. I like talking to people. I'm on TikTok, SuperDad75. I also have a YouTube channel, SuperDad75. So if y'all want to follow me, I haven't really done anything on YouTube that much. I'm wanting to get that to take off. Hopefully that will at some point. But it's really nice to meet all of y'all. Like I hope to do this with y'all again.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course,
Super
Super Dad. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Super Dad.
Hey, stay super.
Yeah, everyone's gonna need to share their tags or something so we can all help each other.
Can I?
I'm tagging everybody, so we're gonna be good.
Can I
Okay.
say something? May I speak?
Kobe, speak, Kobe, speak.
Okay. Sorry, my audio kept cutting out, and then I had to go grab my charger because my laptop was gonna die. I thought I plugged it in. Anyway, so I just wanted to circle back to something that we were talking about a minute ago, and then I'll cede the floor, I guess. Like EQ was saying, you had a very similar thought that I was gonna say when we were talking about Lex and his followers. I mean, my parents tell me I get way too political with things, so I won't be that guy, but I'll just say spend 5 minutes on Twitter and you'll understand why people would follow a person with money who obviously is only in it for themselves. Like that's all I'll say, and I think that's kind of what I liked about this movie overall is that it didn't pull its punches. Not that it was some political thriller drama, but like it showed that like just like the real world, there is true evil in the world. There's people who are only in it for themselves or only in it for hurting others. I mean, even I was shocked by how well done the Moravia invading
Oh yeah.
I had it written down. I knew Jarhanpur. I like that whole situation. I thought was handled really well. I was worried how James would kind of portray it. And again, there's real world parallels. I won't speak too much on it, but I feel like it's a very relevant movie in today's world. And like EQ was saying, like regardless, there's always going to be people, whether it's, any kind of minority that's superheroes or people of color or LGBTQ people. Like, there's always going to be people who are always like, well, no, they're different, so we hate them, so we gotta stop them. And I feel like that was the message of the Superman movie, and that's always been the message of Superman is everyone deserves a chance and everyone has the capacity for good. Like, and we just need to learn to love and accept each other. And I loved, like we were saying earlier with Superman's speech when he tells Lex, like, that's my greatest strength is that, like, I am human and I want to help others. And I hope one day you'll see that that's your greatest strength too. Like, everyone has that capacity. And I think that this movie really portrayed that like, there are real assholes in this world, and it's okay to tell them, hey, be nice to everyone. Like, don't, Superman, I mean, we had that whole plot in this movie where Superman everyone flips on him because they think he's different and he's an alien and he's just here to enslave us all, and it's like, he just wants to do good. And I think that's what all of us ever truly want. And like with Lex, like, some people get lost along the way and get into like cultish behavior, but ultimately, just like anything in the real world, I feel like as long as your goal is to help everyone, you're doing good. And that's what Superman is about. And that's just what I liked. I just wanted to touch on that. Like I said, when we were having that conversation, my whole setup was giving me crap, so it didn't want me to talk. But
I agree with you, bro.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
I agree with you. And I was actually surprised how subliminally political that scene of that country invading the other country, how that was, because like I didn't think DC had it in them to put that much of a subliminal thing to things that are really happening in the world. And I was just like, that's what I'm talking about. And that's one of the battles in Superman is like, can you intervene? Should you intervene? When should you intervene? Switching over, like, kind of talking to Marvel, that like, when the Civil War happened between Captain America and Iron Man, I feel like that was another situation that's like this. It's like, you have the power to change the world. There's a process that you might have to be a part of, and sides that you have to choose. So I think Superman being the ultimate powerful being in the universe, I mean, it's a hard decision, man. He was put in between a rock and a hard place. You know what I'm saying?
Like he said, people were gonna die. What was I supposed to do? Like, regardless of the consequences, I had to help them.
You see him yelling at his girl. I was like, oh, he's passionate about this. He's really trying to save people.
Yeah.
I loved it. Hey, Ken Clark.
I was super disappointed that
sorry, Phil. Yeah,
I'm gonna do a quick one.
Yeah.
I was super disappointed that Superman didn't show up when the kid was holding the flag.
Yeah.
It turned out well, but I was disappointed at that moment.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That kind of hit me too.
I know, and then Green Lantern showed up. Like, it was one thing to have Superman not show up, but then Green Lantern shows up. Green Lantern, out of everyone, he's the one that replaces Superman in that situation.
But that's kind of a great arc for his character, though, because Guy Gardner, especially like in the comic books, is a very self-consumed type of Green Lantern. He's different than Hal Jordan. He's different than John Stewart. So as an arc for Green Lantern, I feel like it was appropriate. Probably set up another story arc of Green Lantern, whether it be a series or a movie or whatever. But it was, man. That kid tried so hard with that Superman sign. I was like, Sue, where you at, baby?
My favorite Green Lantern character is the Lego Batman Green Lantern, where they like make fun of him and like forget about him all the time. And so that's how I took this Green Lantern as well. I was like, come on, you're kidding me.
Hey guys, we're reaching our hour and a half point, so we're going to transition over to the cinema score and personal rating side of stuff. But from what I've learned, we just need to have more Watchtower episodes. We need to do this more.
Yeah. We could talk for days.
We could talk for days. So JP, he's our math guy, finance guy. He's the Iron Man where he says he just makes it, he makes everybody look cooler, do all those type of things. So he is going to tell us the arithmetic for the cinema score. So we have these categories. We have story and plot, villain, flow. JP can explain what he means by flow. We have acting, the hero, which I think we're going to just agree on that one. And then it's all out of 10. So it's going to be like the 50 out of 50 type of cinema score. So explain what flow means before we all try to rate the movie together.
Yeah, so flow basically we've already like talked about this, but the way we're talking about how this movie is like flipping a comic book page. So every film, every director has a way where they like move from the beginning to each next scene, and then some movies have like they crescendo up to a climax, and then there's like a it like somehow finishes, you know. So that's what I mean about flow. Every movie has their own way of like this is how we're gonna start, you know. Like for example, like the third movie in Mission Impossible, like it starts out like action packed, and then it like just cuts, and then it's like all calm, and then like the movie takes on its own um, uh, waves. But like this movie we've already talked about, I think we can agree it's probably a 10 out of 10. Just the way it starts and how we jump into one adventure, another adventure, and all that stuff. But that's what I mean by flow.
So let's sound off. Story and plot out of 10.
If I can cut in for that, just because I got to do go, I do have to. I'm on my way to work. I'm a couple blocks away,
Yeah.
but story for sure. I have to say I would want to say an 8, only for the fact that as some of us were talking about earlier, there were a couple of things that we were like context clues. We were able to get that with it for sure, but still, all the beats really hit me. Like especially when he's talking to his parents or with his father, especially, and he's just learning. Like, yeah, this is something that it's kind of expected when it comes to a superhero movie. Like, who are you? What are you doing with your powers? What are you doing with your gifts? And I think that's a really good example of why the story is really good for me, and just the way that it doesn't feel like nothing happens for no reason. It kind of feels like every little beat that comes by, and every little part that comes through has the meaning, kind of has a purpose, and kind of like flows the way life does. It's not like they're not searching for something, and then on the way they find like their next task or anything. It's all kind of moves pretty well from one thing to another. Um, Overall, just because I'm just about to show up, I do want to give the movie as a whole an 8.5. I had a great time, great couple of hours. It flew by. It felt really quick, and I just wanted to be in that world for just as much longer as I could. And I think we're in for a real treat for the rest of what Gods and Monsters is going to be. I think if anything, if the next projects come out with this kind of same level of passion, same level of love, and same level of just intricacy and just faith, faith that the fans will come in, and faith that the fans will know kind of what's going on, and be attached to these characters. I really think that can continue to go as well as this movie made it. I'm very excited to see like where Supergirl's going to come in, what Guy Gardner's going to be doing in the Lanterns TV show, and I'm just really excited to see for the future. I haven't been really excited for DC in a very long time, and I think this is a really good starter for what we're going to be getting. And I'll leave with that. I much appreciate you guys for being here. Big like the lighter. If you want to find me I think that's my only my handle on Instagram. But you guys have a good one. Much appreciated.
See you, Big.
See you.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
who gives the story and plot an 8 out of 10? Who agrees with that?
I do.
8 to
Yep.
10. 8.5
Okay.
out of 10.
I think it's majority.
I think we give 10 out of 10 to the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say 9 just because of the crying, but
Yeah,
I
we
love
we can
that.
knock one off for the tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that was
yeah.
great. I thought
Okay.
that
Nine and
showed
a
how
half.
twisted he was.
9.5.
How he's
9.5.
just so into
We
it.
allow
He has to kill
9.5s.
him.
I think everybody's in agreement that the flow of the movie was 10 out of 10. It just, it was just like a comic book.
yeah,
Acting,
that's a 10. I'm a very stickler for acting, being a director, and somebody knows I'm not happy when I say my friends, filmmaker friends, I'm like, yeah, that was cool, but I got notes. I literally don't have notes for anyone. Real quick, can we speak on how dope Jimmy Olsen has just turned? How he turned from a not getting girls kind
Getting
of
girls.
to like he's the man right now. Like
Ladies,
I
man.
just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to Jimmy Olsen.
Shout out.
Becoming the guy now. He's him.
The acting was so good. All these supporting actors and actresses, like they could argue of stolen the spotlight. I mean, Jimmy Olsen, Lois,
Mr.
Crypto. Who wasn't good?
Yeah, facts. So yeah, acting definitely 10.
sweet. And I think everyone is gonna say 10 out of 10 for the hero. So
Yes.
out of 100, we give it a 95 out of 100.
Oh,
And it's an A movie. It's an A movie.
A plus.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
there's some grading level.
Some great movies.
I've never rooted for Superman this much in my life. I've been always a Batman fanatic, but this movie, bro, I'm here. I might start buying Superman memorabilia. Like,
Hey.
You're going to. You're going to.
I've been hitting up Colby. I'm like, where's the Supergirl story with that Supergirl? That's the one I want to read.
bro, that's
The Woman of Tomorrow. You said Colby, right?
Yeah,
The Woman of
yeah,
Tomorrow.
that's
Yeah.
what he said.
Hey, you got that?
I'm gonna pick that one up.
we got Superman number 307, Superman, and Kara story. We got Superman
Nice.
punishing his kids. Superman 192.
Alright.
Comic book. We got Superman and the Legion of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Superheroes. That's a great book. Come on, man. You already know me. I'm True Believer Comics. I gotta show off some.
You're ready. You're ready.
And we gotta like get people back in the sport of reading and collecting. That's what
Yes,
we're. You know what I'm saying?
reading the priority part.
Exactly.
So since we're the last ones on, just you guys' personal ratings out of 10.
9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta give room for improvement. I said it wasn't totally perfect. I'm struggling to think of what that was. So
Yeah.
right there, 9.5. But
Nice.
I'm gonna leave a little bit of room to be
Yeah.
perfect.
What about
Probably
you, Charlie?
9 out
What
of
you
10,
give it?
yeah.
Colby?
Oh, me? Probably 9. Yeah.
9.
Just
Yeah.
because I also have that. I have that filmmaker brain. I think there are better made films. Like the Batman, I think is just a great film. I love Matt Reeves. Anything he makes, I'll love. I think just
Here,
as a
Colby.
fan and overall, it's just 9 out of 10.
9. What about you, Charlie?
I give it a good 9. Like I'd pay to go see it again.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
I'm gonna
Brittany,
watch it again.
Queen Star.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was getting a call. I was trying to end it.
Oh, no.
I'd give it a 9. I mean, it's hard for me to give 10s, but I'd give it a 9 just because it was really enjoyable. It made me feel like a little kid at times. So, it was good.
Watching it with us.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
Yeah, it's funny. Last night I gave it like an A, but now I'm giving it a 9. I feel like after this conversation, it's like, that movie was pretty dang good.
I'm probably the most strict right now, but I'm giving it an 8.5. I'm very leaning towards the 9. So that's my personal rating.
That's what's up.
I should have asked my fiance what her score was.
Hey, that would have been like a 9.5, 10.
The 5-year-old in me probably gave it a 10.
Okay.
The filmmaker, comic book writer,
Yeah.
adult me is like, I gotta see if it's an 8.5, 9 first.
Yeah.
Listen, look, this is what I've learned from like being in the filmmaking world. It is cool to dissect. It is cool to analyze, but at the same time, like you just said, 5-year-old in you, which is what we are at our truest form, called it a 10. Then you gotta sometimes go with that kid,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you got to take your whole analyzing mind, political, money, this and job.
Yeah.
You got to throw all that out the window, and you got to be like, as a kid, what I love this at the purest form of me. What I love this, go with that.
Yeah.
You're the Superman guy. I don't
I
know
am.
nobody.
I am.
He's being super critical. Too critical.
Did it twice too.
All right, you guys. Well, this has been fun. We thank you guys. We're gonna wrap it up here, but we're gonna do this again because this movie obviously deserves more conversation. We had more questions involved, but until next time, guys. We love you guys. Thank you.
Oh, nice to meet y'all.
Let's go.
No.